So I've tried to stay away from this topic as long as like humanly possible. I have my thoughts and opinions about it, but I have been of the mind that if you do whatever it is that you just do you, right? But it becomes a problem when you do what you want and then you try to impose it on the rest of society. And then if they don't conform to it or if they don't subscribe to it, well, now they are a phobia or they are some type of ism. And that is where I take issue with it. And we now live in a world where you can be anything that you want to be. And I say that in the most literal sense. So me sitting here right now as a man, as an adult male, I can wake up tomorrow and say, I want to be a woman. And 10, 15, 20 years ago, that was like crazy, right? That was like ridiculous because it didn't make any sense. I'm a man. So if I want to be a woman, I mean, go buy a dress, and that's about as close as I'm gonna get to it. But in 2022, society has deemed that I am valid in my desire to be a woman and that there is a path to actually make that happen. So I can legitimately become a woman. Now, the idea is crazy, but it's hard to explain that to people because they'll stop you right there and say you're transphobic or you're homophobic or whatever. And those words are so weird too. Like a phobia is an inherent fear of something or someone or whatever. Anyone who has reservations about what is going on, I don't think has an inherent fear of people who subscribe to this lifestyle or whatever. I understand the context in which they're using the word, but the term is still weird to me because there's no fear there. If anything, it's more of a confusion, a frustration with trying to impose it on society, right? Because like I said, it's not just I want to sit back here and do whatever it is that I want. It's I want to do whatever it is that I want to do, and I also want society to conform to what it is that I do. I want society to accept me for everything that I do, and then I want society to engage in the activity as well, right? It doesn't just stop at point A. When you give people an inch, they will take a mile. And even then, that's not enough. They will keep going. It won't stop. And that is my frustration. And like I said, I didn't foresee myself talking about this. I mean, at some point I felt like I would have, but not anytime soon until I saw this video. Now, I'm going to play it first, but I just have a problem with how the world is going right now because this should be offensive to an entire group of people. But there are some people who believe that this is okay. They accept this. And it's quite mind-boggling to me. But I mean, I guess that's why we're talking about it, to try to figure out what the hell is going on. But I don't really even have an explanation for this. Like I said, I saw it and I just got very, very confused. Like so many things went through my head, but I'll play it and then we can talk about it.
Why? Stop. Why is this thing not hot? I swear to God, if anyone says welcome to womanhood, I'm gonna lose my shit.
So if you couldn't tell from the video, I mean, I'll just break it down. It's very self-explanatory, but like this is a trans girl, so technically a biological male who has transitioned into a female who is on hormone replacement therapy and is experiencing period cramps and is like having an episode to resemble the pain of having a period. And this individual is placing a heating pad on this individual's like stomach, like I guess trying to deal with it, and then proceeds to say that nobody better like say welcome to womanhood or else I'm gonna lose my stuff. I just have never been so confused in my life because if I walk outside and I put a sombrero on my head, I'm appropriating an entire culture according to society, right? I saw a video of some guy putting on a sombrero and a bunch of Mexican people said that he looked great.
Do you like my costume?
I like your mustache.
Do you?
Monthly.
Does my outfit offend you?
You look no. You look nice.
Thank you. Do you like my costume?
Yes.
Does it offend you?
Es ofensivo.
No.
But a bunch of white and black people said that he was being offensive and appropriating an entire group of people.
Do you think my outfit is offensive?
Are you Mexican?
No.
Yes.
You don't really understand what their culture means and what it means to wear these things, like the hats and the maracas. You sort of have to understand where all of this comes from for it to not be cultural appropriation.
But like if I walk outside and I do that, that's offensive. Yet there are people who can walk around who are biological men and say that they are women by putting on skirts and wearing bras and taking medicine that makes them feel weird but doesn't constitute a natural period. But they can operate as such, and like there's a large contingent of the population who believes this to be normal. Now, not everybody. Obviously, there are people out there who take offense to this or who like look at this and think that this is absolutely crazy. But like, how is this not a mockery, right? Of like biological women. Like how is this not? Because women don't choose to go through this. They are women, therefore they go through it by nature, right? By default. This is what they go through. So to be a biological man and then to go through a process in which you believe that you are feeling something resemblant of it and then posting a video as if that is actually happening to you, as if you are actually on a period, how's that not offensive? And that's the confusing part. Any feminist or any like woman who looks at this and says that this is okay, because I have seen a flurry of videos in which biological women are making cases for these people. Now, at the end of the day, any argument that I make, any conversation that I have about this topic, I'm not necessarily focused on the actual person. Right? That is my frustration with like rebuttals to like a point of view that I might have or somebody else might have, is that I'm like targeting certain people or that I have an inherent frustration with a certain person and I don't like them because of their classification to a specific group or race or whatever. It's not that. It is the fact that this whole thing feels theatrical and there are people, and specifically like women, like biological women, who accept this. Like, you actually go through this naturally and did not ask for that to be the case. That's just how it is. Yet you have somebody who basically is me, right? A biological man come along and then try to assert that I genuinely know what you go through on a daily basis. That's wild to me. And what's even more confusing is that throughout the course of history, like there's been this notion about how oppressive men are, which I'm not even gonna front. Yes, men have been oppressive to women in certain regards, and in some parts of the world they still are. And I think that's where feminism derived from, is like men run the world and they treat women like they do not have rights, or they are not human beings, or they are not deserving of respect, right? Therefore we need a movement that tries to counteract that, and in turn it has allowed women to like forge their own path and create their own lanes, right? Now, modern feminism has a lot of problems in the sense that a lot of it is just linked to hating men, right? Like OG feminism is like a promotion of women's rights, which is fantastic. Like I said, modern day feminism is like attacking masculinity and talking about how trash men are.
You're a stupid man! A stupid man!
Ow! You're hurting me! Stop it! Stop it, Lois!
No! I'm so sick of your crap! Why do you always do these stupid things?
That crap is messed up. But like, I'm talking about OG feminism. You forge your own path and you assert that you are a human being and that you are deserving of respect. Fantastic, right? In response to a group of people who have oppressed you. And this is where the irony comes in, right? Doing this, right? Being a biological man and then transitioning into a woman and then showing off to the world that you are now going through a period, or that you are experiencing things that like real biological women go through. That to me is one of the most oppressive things that men can do to women, because it is not like you are just infiltrating spaces that women occupy. You are infiltrating the very essence of a woman, and that is her biology. Let's forget industries and corporations and the discrepancies there between men and women, and the fact that men populate a lot of those spaces more. Let's forget that. Let's look at the simple fact that there are biological males who take steps to assert to the world that they are now females, And then they do things like this where they film themselves experiencing a quote unquote period, as if this is something you can just turn on and turn off. It's absolutely crazy. And like I said, we've seen consequences of it with like biological men going into like biological female sports. Sports is divided by biology for a reason. So biological men who are subpar in their men's leagues or divisions or whatever, they transition to a woman and then they go into these leagues and they dominate. How is that not oppressive, right? How is that not a process in which biological men somehow, some way, once again, find themselves into female spaces and then completely take it over? And then if you don't subscribe to it, well, they can just hit you with a, oh, you're transphobic. And then they shut you down. So they literally have it on lock. It is so painstakingly thought through and worked on, because me as a biological man, if I'm not content with myself as a man, if I am not succeeding in the spaces of a man, I can just flip a switch, become a woman, and then take over there. Like, what? How is that not like a Trojan horse style form of oppression? How is that not theater? How is that not parading around and appropriating a group of people? How? And there are women, there are feminists who subscribe to this, who think that this is okay, as if somehow, some way, I as a man or any other biological male is truly capable of understanding what it is that a woman goes through. And it's the complete opposite, right? Biological women can't truly understand what I as a biological man have to go through. That's just not how it works, because we're not the same. So this individual can parade around as a woman. They can portray to the world that what they are experiencing in terms of period cramps are legit. They can express that any experiences that they have now and going forward are akin to that of a biological woman. Yet, Justin Bieber can't wear locks. Kim Kardashian can't wear braids. And I, nor anyone else who isn't of Mexican descent, can't wear a sombrero. Because somehow, some way, that is more offensive than what this individual is doing. I have never been this worried about the fate of humanity ever in my entire life.